The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
It's a tragedy. The story of Anna Kepner, the Florida teenager whose life ended aboard the Carnival cruise Horizon. Found under a bed during a blended family vacation, authorities say her death was ruled a homicide. The FBI is investigating, and a 16-year-old stepbrother has been identified as a person of interest. Friends and classmates describe Anna as bright, energetic, and full of plans. Her sudden loss has left the community demanding answers about how a teenager could die while in the care of those closest to her. And will anyone be charged with her death? Meanwhile, the chilling Slenderman saga and Morgan Geyser's role in one of the most notorious juvenile attacks of the modern internet age is back in the news. In 2014, Geyser and another girl lured their friend into the woods and stabbed her 19 times, an act they later framed as an offering to a fictional online figure known as Slenderman. That assault nearly killed the victim, and Geyser was found not guilty by reason of insanity. She was recently placed in a group home, but absconded. Now she's been found, and tonight you'll see her dramatic capture caught on video. But first, Coach Travis Turner, once a pillar of the Appalachian community, now wanted on multiple warrants alleging possession of child sexual abuse material and solicitation of minors. State police say they have obtained 10 warrants related to the investigation and insist Turner is a fugitive priority. Towns that cheered his teams are now organizing searches and sharing hotlines. Tonight, we follow the investigators, the families seeking justice, and the neighbors left asking how trust eroded so quickly, and who will answer for the children allegedly affected. I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. We have a full hour straight ahead here on Closing Arguments. And we begin, let's talk about Friday Night Lights. It's a big part of our culture here in the United States, and in some states and in some communities, especially some of those small towns, it's a huge deal. High school football. Everyone in town gathers up, they go to the games, they want their team to win. The coach is an important figure, the starting quarterback, a hero in those communities. Well, there's a town in Virginia with a high school named Union High School that is having a perfect season. This is a small town, so it's exciting, right? Undefeated in the playoffs, winning game after game. Is this the year? It's a big moment, and it could be the biggest moment in the town, right? Because everyone is so invested in the success of the football heroes who go out on Friday nights. Well, this perfect season has run into a little bump. Actually, it's a huge bump because of an imperfect coach who has been accused of some very questionable behavior, allegations related to child pornography, solicitation of minors. Serious stuff when you're in the business of coaching children and teaching children in high school. So this is a huge problem for the coach. But there's another problem because nobody knows what happened to the coach. He's been missing since last Thursday. Folks have been looking for him, but now more folks are looking for him because he's wanted by the law. So I want you to take a listen. This is from the state police in Virginia. Robynn Lawson, speaking on behalf of the state police, giving us an idea of what exactly Coach Travis Turner is wanted for.
The Virginia State Police has obtained 10 warrants for missing high school football coach Travis L. Turner, 46, of Appalachia. Turner is wanted on 5 counts of child pornography and 5 counts of using a computer to solicit a minor. The investigation is ongoing and additional charges are pending. The Virginia State Police is actively searching for Turner, and we are asking for the public's help in providing any information that may lead to his whereabouts. If you have any tips or information, please contact the Virginia State Police Division 4 headquarters at 276-484-9483, or you can email us at questions@vsp.virginia.gov. Tips can be made anonymously, and we greatly appreciate your help.
This is a big story and a big deal where it's happening, and now everyone is talking about it from coast to coast. So let's bring in multimedia journalist Liam Bridgman from News 5 WCYB in Bristol, Virginia. Has been on top of this story from the beginning. Liam, thanks so much for being here. What's the latest right now in the search for this missing or fugitive coach?
Well, we're continuing to ask questions from Virginia State Police. Of course, they're heading the investigation. We have continued to ask, where has the search led you to now? Well, I was in Appalachia today. It seemed like a very loosened law enforcement presence there today. But like I said, we continue to ask questions of Virginia State Police, where is this investigation leading you to? And they've continued to tell us that Appalachia is the place that they are looking. So that's the center of the focus right now.
All right, for folks not from the area, can you describe the area for us, the community, the people, and the geography?
Absolutely. Great people, very tight-knit community. You've got a bigger town, Big Stone Gap, there in Wise County, and then a little bit toward the Kentucky border, you've got the town of Appalachia, which is much smaller than Big Stone Gap. Tight-knit community, like I said, everybody knows everybody, and well, Travis Turner is a big part of the community and the entire county of Wise County, Virginia. And this has definitely come as a shock to, I think, a lot of people.
What has the reaction been? You say a shock. Are people questioning it? Are people surprised? Do people want him to turn himself in? Where's kind of the vibe of the community right now? Because I know these high school coaches are absolutely beloved in their communities.
Absolutely, and that's basically exactly how you described. There's been a lot of a split between the community, I think. Some people are out for his demise, that he is absolutely convicted on all counts, even before going to court. And some people just cannot believe that Travis Turner has done these things, they're waiting for the court of law to say that he's done these things before they can really make up their mind. But I think everyone in the community wants him to be alive and found alive. I think that's the reoccurring want from everyone.
So let's talk about this search. Describe the area for us, the area closest to his home, and do we believe that he left on foot versus like jumping into a car or truck or ATV or something and driving off?
Yeah, the area so Appalachia is a rural community surrounded by basically mountainous terrain, surrounded by it. And that has definitely, I'm sure, provided some difficulty for law enforcement. I actually talked to a law enforcement expert today, a criminology expert, about the difficulties with that, talking about, cell phone tracking. And I talked about the search zone and how we are now 5 days into this. What could potentially change? Do we think that this zone has stayed the same over 5 days? And he kind of alluded to, once you hit a certain mark, you got to start thinking maybe we need to start looking at other places, circling back to details. But The area around his home is very wooded, very mountainous, a lot of hiding spaces, but I went down the road that he allegedly lives on today, and I did not see any law enforcement presence. So if that notes anything.
That's interesting. A lot of people are wondering, so he's missing. A lot of times these investigations are secret. They come up and then they cuff you, right? And you don't know it's coming. Do we know how and why he left on Thursday, how he got sort of a head start on law enforcement here?
That, I think, is the biggest question mark for a lot of people, including myself. Hopefully we get the answer to that at some point, but yeah, a big question mark.
And how about his family? Have they been speaking out? If so, what are they saying? Are they participating in any part of the search?
So I contacted his wife, Leslie, today, and she has hired an attorney. From the looks of it, they have sent back a statement. They did not want to go on camera. I offered an on-camera interview with her, and I got a statement back from lawyers saying they were not going to answer any questions. That's the gist of what I've gotten so far.
And do we know anything about the alleged victims in this case, whether or not they're students at the school, whether they're associated with the football program, if they're completely unrelated? Any word on the alleged victims here?
Currently, that is where we're looking right now. We assume the fact would be these warrants will remain sealed because we are dealing with juveniles in this situation. That's the assumption, but maybe we'll get more details soon enough.
Liam Bridgman, WCYB in Virginia, thanks so much for all the info, and we'll be checking back with you as this investigation continues. Hope you can come back on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vinny. Appreciate
Thank you. All right. Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us, criminal defense attorney, former head prosecutor, New Jersey, Bob Bianchi. I'm trying to read this thing, and let me read that again. Criminal defense attorney, former head New Jersey County prosecutor, Bob Bianchi. See, I got it right. It's the only part of the show I read, and I messed it up. Also joining us, former police lieutenant, trial attorney Rick King, and national parenting and family relationship expert, Dr. Sue Kornbluth. Okay. Bob, how did you get a head start?
You know, that's a great question. It's actually the first thing that I was thinking of as a prosecutor. We are investigating these things. We want to keep things surreptitious. My feeling is probably what happened is that a lot of times in these cases, because it's a computer crimes case, and if you have an idea that somebody may be the person, you have an IP address that goes back to either a home or an office. And one of the things, because we're trying to prove cases beyond the reasonable doubt in the courtroom to 12, we want to get a confession. We want to get a statement to verify who was on the computer literally when either information was going, bad stuff was going on with it, because people often say it wasn't me, other people had access to the computer. So my feeling is we employ a technique called a knock and talk, where you say, hey, listen, I got a couple questions, just figured I'd come by, just want to straighten something out. And something like that happened, and he knew he was up to no good, and that tipped him off and he took off. That's my best guesstimate is what may have happened here.
Rick, what are we looking for here? Are we looking for a man, or are we looking for a body?
I think we are looking for a man still, just right about now. And what's interesting is that they're still looking in the local area around his house. So what that says to me is he's not in a car, because if he was in a car, they would have widened this search out a long time ago. I also feel like he might have been tipped off on why we can't find him and why he had a little head start. It might be because this is more than a digital case. It might be a victim witness case, and maybe he got tipped off that people were talking, and that's why he went. Knock and talks are that's also another good theory, but something clearly gave him a little head start to get out of his house and get out of the way.
All right, Dr. Sue Kornbluth, this is going to send shockwaves through this small community, right? Liam kind of was leading us down. They're like, nobody's like, oh my good, and it's in the middle. Like, I know football's pales in comparison to what's happening here, but it's the height of everything, right? This is the undefeated season. Everybody is like cheering on the team. They love the coach. And then this hits everybody like a ton of bricks right now.
Yeah, this is going to devastate the community. I know a lot about this because my son was a high school football player. And, you know, it's the big event of the week. It's the hype of the community. And they trusted in this man to lead their children, that their children would be safe with him. And what we're seeing here is that possibly that is not the case. And that is scary to the community, as well as all of these parents, Vinny, whose sons are on the football team wondering what happened here. Were they victims of anything? You know, when you run from something, Vinny, it often symbolizes that you're guilty.
Now, I want to put this up on the screen from the Daily Mail, and I want to hear what everyone's reaction is to this. This is what Leslie Turner, the wife of the coach, said. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I'm sorry. None of that is true. He's a good dad and a good husband. We want him home. That's it. We are all just hanging in there until we get news. Reaction. Bob.
Vinny, we talk about this in my office all the time. The explosion of child pornography cases, I think, would shock the public. From before I was the county prosecutor, I don't think I handled one as a defense lawyer. And I'd say 50% of the cases in my office right now are child pornography related. And it's a sick cycle of what goes on with a lot of these guys. And there's file sharing programs, and they go down, Dr. Sue here could probably talk to this better than anybody. And they go down this addictive path. They wind up on file sharing programs. And the next thing you know, really otherwise law-abiding people like this guy are involved in this trap of this horrific crime of child pornography. The thing that separates this guy a little bit, though, Vinny, I got to say, is he's also accused of trying to lure somebody. So that's even deeper than just the person who's going on looking at pictures and gets addicted. That's taking affirmative steps. A little bit of a different thing there. But child pornography, it's an explosively sad mental health issue we got going on here.
And this
So I
isn't
look at
something
that.
that's just, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So I look at the message from the wife, and I look at that and I say, man, imagine Bob talked about the explosiveness of. Imagine the explosiveness in their household, what she's thinking, what she might be going through. And when I read that, I honestly take it at face value, and I believe she doesn't know anything. Then she doesn't know what was going on. However, just like the rest of us, she's waiting and watching to find out. This is her husband, and she has children, and he's accused of this most horrendous thing. And imagine what that does to her and the family that's left behind. I mean, it's a lot.
Well, first of all, she doesn't want to believe that her husband is capable of doing anything like this. But child pornography is an addiction like any other kind of addiction. It starts early in life and develops along the way, and they cannot separate themselves from it. Now, we don't know if she knew or didn't know. From my experience, a lot of women that are married to these men do have an inclination that it is occurring, but sometimes they will turn their head or they don't want to believe it. I'm not saying she knew or not, but usually there are signs along the way. The other thing is with addictions that we must remember is that people are so good at covering up, keeping secrets, lying, etc., etc. So, you know, in the end, this is a severe addiction that we're seeing way too much of today.
At the end of
I just had one thing.
Go ahead with 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think like the amazing thing too is that the thing that shocks us from a crime perspective is it touches every socioeconomic demographic, from a gang member to a CEO of a corporation and everyone in between. It's really amazing.
Yeah. At this point, I want this guy just turn himself in. Hope that he's alive. Turn himself in. Pay the price you got to pay if you did this. Get the help that you need and be there for your children. No, your life's not going to be the same, but it's still a life worth living. You can turn things around. we'll see what happens. We're going to obviously stay on this story. When we come back, a story that won't go away, the Slenderman case. Morgan Geyser absconding from her group home. We've got the video of her capture coming up. Plus, coming up next hour. Tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates. Tonight, 4 children gone, 4 families still waiting for answers. From Melody Buzzard to Emmanuel Harrow, from Summer Wells to Sebastian Rogers, investigators say the trail has grown cold. But the questions have not. What clues were missed, and who might still hold the truth? Tonight, we investigate.
The Court TV podcast will return.
And then Morgan jumped on top of Bella and started stabbing her repeatedly, and that's when I turned around because I couldn't stand to see that. And then she jumped on Bella, and she held her to the floor.
Wait, Anisha did this?
I came up from behind her, and I jumped on her. I tackled her, and I stabbed her.
You know how many times you did it?
19. I just want to let Bella and her family know I'm sorry. Never meant this to happen. I hope that she's doing well.
Back in 2014, Morgan Geyser, with another friend, attacked one of their friends in the woods, stabbed her 19 times. Miraculously, she survived. But Morgan Geyser was found not guilty by reason of insanity. She was locked up getting help for years and was recently put into a group home. And then once in the group home, she absconded and was missing. And I've said this from the beginning, every time I talk about not guilty by reason of insanity, is that eventually they all get out. Just understand that. When someone's found not guilty by reason of insanity, they're going to get out at some point, because all the doctors come into court and say the patient is responding well to treatment, and they give them a little more freedom, a little more freedom, a little more freedom. Well, in this case, as soon as she got to a group home, she broke out, got rid of her ankle monitor, and absconded. But she's now been captured in Illinois, one state over, with a 43-year-old adult. I've got the video. Let's take a look.
Hey, unfortunately, you guys can't be back here.
I'm sorry.
I believe that Robynn's police department, you're able to sleep in their lobby.
No, we're fine. We'll just move around.
What was that?
We'll just move around.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate that. Sorry to bother you guys.
Are you missing from somewhere? Then just give me your name and date of birth and you can be on your way.
Okay, I'm 19.
Huh?
I'm 19.
19?
Yeah.
That's fine, you're still an adult. So
Yeah, so what's your last name? No one.
I don't want to give you my name.
okay, well then we're gonna arrest you and take you an ID. We're gonna hold you an ID at the station for fingerprints. So you don't want to obstruct an officer. Give me your name and date of birth. You're not wanted for murder, right?
Right.
Well, then you ain't gonna have a problem with us. I promise you. Okay? You're making it a bigger deal than it is.
What's your last name?
Reese.
How do you spell it?
I-E-S.
I-E-S?
No, G-R-I-E-S.
Okay. G-R-I-E-S. What's your first name?
Stephanie.
How do you spell it?
E-P-H-I-N-E. A-N-I-E, sorry.
A-N-I-E. Middle initial?
What's your last name? I don't know.
Do you have a middle initial? Okay, what's your date of birth?
April 16th, 2002.
Okay.
Oh, Roberts, okay.
And your last name is G-R-I-E-S?
Yes, please.
All right.
Now you did something wrong because you're coming back no record on files, and that means you're lying on us about your name. Okay? So now that's obstructing. I'm gonna give you one more chance before we're gonna take you in custody and fingerprint you, okay? So just be honest. It's not a big deal. You're making it a bigger deal.
So Stephanie.
Give me your real name. Okay? At this point, we're just gonna detain him. Detain her.
Please let her go.
Then
Please let her go.
Then give him your name.
I did something wrong.
What did you do?
She doesn't
wrong?
know what I did.
Okay, that's fine. I ain't.
Let me talk to you over here. Okay, I'll look at
What is it that you did wrong?
I did something really wrong.
What?
47 and Cicero.
What did you do wrong?
47 Cicero. 500 rolls here.
It's not that. It can't be that serious.
Charlie X-ray 3727.
What was it?
Yeah, I'm standing down there. Okay, well, you agree.
And what is your name? What's happening? We don't want problems with you, okay? We just need to ID you. That's it.
Okay. Now, I ain't
What did you do wrong?
4 or 5 days, maybe even a week. See if
What?
come back. Okay. Unless that's what you
She
want to
doesn't
do.
know my real name.
Okay. Well,
But
give him your real
you can give me
name.
your
Don't tell
information. I
him.
don't care about her. I'm just going to give it to you. Okay. Can't give you information? Why? Why can't you give me information? What's wrong with that? So he says he just can't give me his information.
Okay, so take him in custody.
MORGAN.
And then your last name?
GEYSER.
What is it?
GEYSER. I promise she did not know.
GEYS.
ER.
And then what's your date of birth?
May 16th, 2002.
So Morgan is your first name, right?
Yes.
GEYSER.
No.
Let me say goodbye, please.
Okay, we will.
I will never see her again.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
304.
Why?
Because I did something bad. Let me say goodbye.
We will let you say goodbye, but just stand by until we figure out what's going on. Okay?
You
I
promise?
promise. I'll let you say goodbye.
No matter what I did?
Yeah, no matter.
Last name.
That's my word, okay? Okay? You're being honest with me.
I'm being honest. That's my name. Trust me, I didn't want to give it to you.
Okay.
You'll see why in a second. But she didn't know my name.
Go ahead and put your hand up.
You said I could say
I will
goodbye.
let you. You guys going to the same place, okay?
Okay. I promise she didn't know.
Okay.
Great job by the officers, by the way, and the way they handled all that. Got to the truth at some point. But like, what do we do here? What do we do with this young woman? Clearly troubled, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, she's still clearly suffering from. Well, I don't know if she's suffering or not, but right now she looks like she still needs to be in that mental health facility that she escaped from, and that's going to be the issue because it really is an escape from a correctional facility. She escaped from a mental health facility, and I think that's going to be the difference in this. And the question is whether when they evaluate this case, whether or not they will place her into a criminal facility now or back to a mental health facility, a secure mental health facility, which is what I believe they're going to do.
Yeah, the one she was in wasn't secured. She was put into a group home, so there was an ability to go in and out, and it was a little bit looser, which is what always happens here, Dr. Sue. We always give them a little more, and sometimes they're just not ready.
Oh, Vinnie, I said this months ago. I said it yesterday on opening statements. Sociopaths cannot be rehabilitated. But this is what is even scarier. She was evaluated by not one, but 3 psychologists who determined that she was okay to go to a group home. Now, if anybody knows anything about sociopaths, which I do believe that's what she is, and I think in the video that you saw, we see a lot of that as well with the lying and the covering up, that they can con anybody into anything if you clearly don't understand the pathology behind their behaviors. Somebody dropped the ball here. She never should have been put in a group home. The judge also, I feel, did not make a great decision here as he put her in a group home that was only miles from her victim that she stabbed 19 times. Wasn't one time, 19.
Dr. Sue,
Yeah,
how do you add in the 43-year-old person that was with her? Does that factor into your analysis at all? Because I feel like that's significant.
Absolutely. I think that she developed this relationship with her in prison, because there were reports that were going on that she was messaging back with somebody and had violent tendencies. So I think this was pre-planned. And what I learned today while reading about this was that he was at the group home when she cut off the monitor. So this was definitely planned and manipulated, I think, on her part.
Or what about influenced?
Influenced by him how?
To leave the facility.
Influenced by the older adult, because they're both adults at this point.
Yes. Absolutely, older adult. Absolutely.
That may be something that you want to argue as an attorney, as a person that's in psychology. I don't see it that way. She had a choice as well to say, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, Bob is chomping at the bit right now, I can tell.
I don't know. I guess I'm just going to bristle a little bit at the comment with the judges. I mean, I've been down this path everything's the prosecutors and the judges. Where are the prosecutors? Where are the judges? They're dealing with an impossible situation. We're in a place right now where, unfortunately, the best place to get psychological help and medication is in the county jails. This is the situation we're at right now. And then every 6 months we have a Kroll hearing, and a bunch of talking heads come in, blah, blah, blah. The person's capable. They're not a danger to themselves or others. And the other side comes in and says they are a danger to themselves or the others. And some poor judge is required to make the call. And it's so chaotic, this whole area, and everyone is guessing and crossing their fingers and hoping everything's going to be okay. This girl left the facility she was at. She knew exactly what it was that she was doing. She knew she did a bad thing both before and leaving. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care about what happened before this, but the key should be turned at this point in time, because if Dr. Sue is right and she's a sociopath, she represents a continuing danger. And Vinnie, just one last point. I do know some people that have been NGI and are in facilities longer than the maximum state prison sentence that they could have gotten had they been incarcerated. But all I got to say is, let's not really denigrate our judges and prosecutors who are doing the best they can in an unforgivable situation, which mental health has gotten completely out of control, and they're jamming it into our world to make it all good. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
And let me just add this quickly. She knew right from wrong, and she was lucid when that police officer was talking to her, and she knew she lied and then gave her real name. This doesn't mean mental health. This means she knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah,
exactly.
and there have been some questions about whether or not she's malingering when she has been in court and in some of the interviews. The judge had a lot of hesitations, but finally she was given a little bit of freedom, and she took advantage. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about Anna Kepner, the 18-year-old who went on that cruise with her blended family. Wonderful young lady. She is dead. We've got the death certificate tonight with some surprising information that may impact the case if and when it goes to court. That's next.
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
She was a great woman.
She always wanted to make people laugh. She loved the water. We were constantly going to the lake here where I live.
There's apparently an FBI investigation ongoing that the mother took the two younger children on a cruise, and that the older child, who's approximately 16 years of age, is a suspect in the death of the stepchild, an 18-year-old daughter that was in the same room.
Whenever I was on FaceTime with her, and I was on FaceTime with her, and she was laying down, and the brother tried to go on top of her, and
You saw that?
Yeah. And then,
how did she react to that?
I was like, what the hell are you doing in the room, you know? Then he got scared and, like, ran away. And I heard his footsteps, like, running through the house, you know, because he got caught.
Mom, immediately after the incident, he was hospitalized, and then when released from the hospital, Mom and Dad participated too. They signed a stipulation basically allowing him to live with Mom's relative, and they're getting counseling and so forth for him.
It was suspicious because I knew that the brother did it, and yeah.
How do you know that?
Because of the past things that happened with him, like I was saying.
Anna Kepner, 18 years old. The investigation continuing. No one's been arrested yet, but as you heard in actual documents posted or filed in court, and we heard in the hearing, the FBI is looking at the 16-year-old stepbrother who was sharing a cabin with Anna. Anna's blood brother was also in that cabin, the three of them, but at some point, obviously, the 16-year-old stepbrother and 18-year-old Anna Kepner were in there together. Anna Kepner ends up dead. Now, how exactly she died is a big deal in this case. It's probably the deal in this case, right? What was going on inside that cabin? Well, the results of the autopsy will be extremely significant in this case for both sides. If someone is accused of the crime, and of course for prosecutors, if and when there are charges here. Now, Fox News obtained Anna Kepner's death certificate, and there's something I want you to take a look at as we look at this photo of the death certificate. The method of disposition, you see it in the yellow? Cremation. Already? Has she been cremated already? Like, obviously, yeah, a family can do whatever a family wants to do once the body's been released in an investigation like this. But I'm surprised that everything has happened this quickly. I mean, you think back to the Daybell case, and they were fighting for years to be able to bury JJ and Tylee because prosecutors held on to the bodies, the evidence. Here, before charges are even filed and there's a case, it appears that Anna has been cremated or is being sent to be cremated. Let's bring our think tank and talk about this. Bob Bianchi, Rick King, Dr. Sue Kornbluth. Bob, number one, are you surprised? And number two, will this potentially impact the case? Because I think a lot of what's going to be fought in this case will be what happened in that room, and really the key to uncovering it at this point, unless there's a confession, is going to be the autopsy and what was found.
It's a grievous legal error and prosecutorial and law enforcement foul. It makes literally no sense to me. The body is the most significant piece of evidence in a homicide case. Not only does the prosecutor have to prove cause and manner of death beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury of 12 when they're doing their investigation. Vinny, I just had a homicide case dismissed because the forensic evidence showed when we had our experts that the state's theory of cause and manner was wrong. And the prosecutors reviewed our experts' report when they had the opportunity to have available to them the physical forensic evidence, i.e. a non-cremated body, a real body parts, and realized they had made a mistake. So it is a grievous error, not only for prosecutors, but for justice in general. When things like this happen, Vinny, like, you don't need to go to law school or smart school or detective school to know you don't dispose of the body until you're absolutely certain it's not necessary. And by the way, last point, should the prosecutors decide, well, we know what the cause and manner of death is, and so what? That is basically destroying evidence that may be valuable to the defense, as it was in the case that I recently handled. Amateur hour.
Rick, are you surprised?
Absolutely. Now, I'd be jumping up and down if and when somebody's charged, it was my client. I'd be, hey, I never got a chance to have my forensic expert to look at the body. I never got a chance to get my medical examiner to look at it. And so that's significant. I'll agree with Bob that this is an egregious mistake.
Dr. Sue, I want to go in a different direction here. family dynamics now. There's a family that's continuing here. There's step-brothers, sisters. There's several families. I mean, to me, this is a very complicated situation. If and when charges are brought potentially against a stepbrother, how do you think this family works through it?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm not quite sure how they will work through this if one of the children was the one that murdered this beautiful girl. I mean, that's going to put a rift between, you would think, the mother and the father of this family. I mean, and the grief and the mourning and the anger. I mean, all of that is going to come up when you're dealing with a loss such as this, and the other children who have to grieve all of this. You know, it takes time for grieving to take place, and everybody does it differently. You may wish and hope that they all come together, but I think, unfortunately, in cases like this, you're going to see that this family is probably not going to survive this.
All right, big thank you to our guests, Bob Bianchi, Rick King, Dr. Sue Kornbluth. Have a great, great holiday, Thanksgiving weekend. We appreciate you. When we come back, something else you need to know tonight, plus coming up next hour. Tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates, they vanished months, even years ago, but their names still echo across Tennessee and California. Melody Buzzard, Emmanuel Harrow, Summer Wells, Sebastian Rogers. Now we're uncovering new information, new tips, and new pressure on the people who were closest to them. Could the key to finding these missing children be hiding in plain sight? Tonight, we investigate.
This is the Court TV Podcast.
Welcome back. Time to reveal something else you need to know tonight. Let's take a look at the big board. Sick again. That is Shonda Vander Ark, the one who tortured and killed her disabled child. Remember the first time around at her trial when she was testifying, she was dry heaving into a garbage can on the witness stand while she was back in court, this time looking for a new trial, claiming ineffective assistance of counsel. Take a listen to what happened today.
Well, first off, your medical condition, let's just briefly go through that. How is your condition right now?
I'm miserable. I'm lightheaded. My head is just splitting. The back of my neck hurts constantly. It's something that goes along with the thyroid issue, I guess. I've been shaking. This is almost constant now. It started a couple days a week for a few hours at a time, and it's almost constant now.
Would it be your preference to testify at another time?
Absolutely. I feel like garbage.
Yeah, probably due to you being a murderer. Anyhow, she'll be back in court. Maybe. Who cares? Take a look, folks. We have a missing child who needs your help. This is Madison Dahl. Madison, 14 years old, missing from Lowell, Indiana. May go by the names Everest or Everett. If you see Madison, please pick up the phone, make a call, make a difference. 911, 1-800-THE-LOST, or the Lake County Sheriff's Office in Indiana. Let's see if we get Madison to a safe place tonight. Don't go anywhere. We have another hour of live true crime. Vinnie Politan Investigates is next. In the meantime, please don't forget to hug the kids. There you have it. If you want to see more in-depth reporting on the latest true crime stories, you can see me every weeknight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Closing Arguments. Thank you so much for downloading. And as always, please don't forget to hug the kids.
This podcast is a production of Court TV. Go to CourtTV.com for more content, trials on demand, and to find out how to watch Court TV in your area.